Hello, I'm Jenny Fern and welcome to my library. I'm a chaotic neutral mechanical engineer who's really into permaculture and wants to talk about books. So let's talk about books. Today I have another video going through my commonplace book and looking at a list of books that I have compiled for various reasons. They piqued my interest in some way, and so we are going to explore what these books are together. I have my first video in this series, I suppose, where we went through my first page of my commonplace book where we looked through several books. So I'd like to do something similar for today, where I go through this list of books, my second page. So just like last time, I'm using ChatGPT to help me get plot summaries for what these books are about, because I don't know what they are. I don't remember why I wrote them down or why I screenshotted the thumbnail or the book cover or just me searching the name of the book. We are gonna figure out what they are together. And when I do have context of where the book recommendation or why I noted the book, where that came from, I will mention it. The first book on this page is The Monk by Matthew Lewis. This was from Emmy Reed's video about fall books. And this is a classic Gothic novel that follows the downfall of the pious monk Ambrosio, whose descent into corruption and depravity includes themes of temptation, supernatural forces, and moral ruin. I'm not sure if I like Gothic literature, to be completely honest. I don't know. This was published quite a long time ago, so this would be available readily for me to read if I were to choose so. The next book is Elsewhere by Alexis Scheitkin. I'm not 100% on the pronunciation of the last name. This came as a recommendation from Allison Pages. She was holding it up in a video. I think this was one of her favorite books a few years ago. And the cover is just absolutely stunning. And so I don't even know if I was listening to what it was about, because I feel like I don't really know what it's about, but the cover is beautiful. Set in a mysterious, isolated village where mothers occasionally disappear, this haunting novel explores themes of community, motherhood, and the elusiveness of memory. The next book is Walking Practice by Dolki Min, and this came from a Super Blomper recommendation video. I actually have checked this out from the library before, but I didn't get through very far at all before my library rental was due, so I didn't give it another shot for a long time. I mean, I haven't given it another shot, but I heard her talking about it recently, and I thought, oh man, I really should read that because it sounds so cool. This is a unique science fiction story following an alien stranded on Earth who disguises themselves as human to hunt and survive, examining identity, isolation, and the complexities of human life from an outsider's perspective. And that sounds so interesting. I think it's a little bit gross because of the whole hunting aspect, but like, gosh, doesn't that sound so cool? The next is a book that I just saw recently, and that is A Mountain to the North, A Lake to the South, Paths to the West, A River to the East by Laszlo Krasznahorkai. And I guess this is a Hungarian novel. A meditative novel about a monk on a spiritual pilgrimage in Japan, exploring nature, transcendence, and the fleeting beauty of life. It just was a beautiful cover, and it sounds so unique, I suppose. This came from a video from Sarah's Reading Journal, who I've just been absolutely enjoying recently. I really like her videos. Hi, little guy. Yeah? Yeah. Hi. Hi. Politics and Life in Mars, a story of a neighboring planet by Sampson Lowe, Marston, Searle, and Rivington. Oh, don't eat my plant. I usually don't have a plant down here because solely this guy, who is a destructive man. This early science fiction novel imagines the political and social structures of life on Mars, offering a speculative exploration of interplanetary society from a 19th century perspective. What I remember, this was like a reel or a short or something. In my screenshot, it says it's by Rebecca Romney. What I remember is that it's a example of like early utopian work, and gosh, it sounds so cool. The next book is A Journal of Solitude by May Sarton. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that last name correctly. A Belgian-American novelist, poet, and memoirist. Okay, just Sarton. Sorry, I'm so not familiar with this person at all. But A Journal of Solitude by May Sarton, a contemplative memoir that chronicles Sarton's introspective year alone, addressing themes of creativity, loneliness, and self-discovery as she finds solace in solitude. And there's another recommendation by May Sarton, and that's Plant Dreaming Deep. In this memoir, Sarton reflects on her experience creating a home and garden in rural New Hampshire, exploring the intersection of creativity, solitude, and connection to nature. And that sounds right up my alley. That was a recommendation from Cass Krug because she had a video of memoirs, and I was wondering if she had any recommendations for nature memoirs, because that's what I've found I really connect with in terms of memoirs. And those were her two recommendations. So really appreciate that reply, that thoughtful reply, and also really enjoying Cass Krug's videos. I also got a response by Anne Florlanting on that comment that I left on Cass's video. And the recommendations were Modern Nature by Derek Jarman, a diary capturing filmmaker Derek Jarman's life as he cultivates a garden near his coastal cottage while battling AIDS, blending reflections on life, death, and resilience with the beauty of gardening. That also sounds wonderful, but it sounds like it might break my heart. Then we have The Salt Path by Raynor Winn, a memoir that follows Winn and her husband as they trek the southwest coast path in England after losing their home, a journey of survival, healing, and reconnection with nature. And two other books by Raynor Winn, The Wild Silence, which is a continuation of The Salt Path, about rediscovering her love of nature and finding solace in the wilderness while dealing with grief and challenges of rebuilding her life. That also sounds wonderful. And Landlines, which follows Winn as she embarks on a walking journey across Scotland, exploring themes of resilience, the power of nature, and the bond shared with her husband in the face of illness. So those all sound wonderful. Taking a turn, we have Lacrimore by S.J. Costello, which was a recommendation by August is Reading, which I mentioned last time. I've just been loving her videos. So Lacrimore is a gothic horror novel about a grieving young woman who inherits a haunted manor where she uncovers dark secrets and confronts unsettling supernatural forces. Also recommended by August is Reading is The Crab Nebula by Eric Chevillard. This philosophical surreal narrative meanders through absurd reflections and musings, tackling the human tendency to find meaning in chaotic and different universe. Gosh, if I remember what was the description of this book, it sounds so incredibly cool. Then we have The Garden of Evening Mists by Tan Tuan Eng. In a post-World War II Malaya. What is Malaya? Sorry, I have no idea about this, but I suppose Malaya was, like it included Penang, so it's now a part of Malaysia. The Garden of Evening Mists by Tan Tuan Eng. In a post-World War II Malaya, a woman seeks peace by creating a Japanese garden with a formal imperial gardener, Confronting Memories of War, Loss, and Reconciliation. This is like the gardening series of books, isn't it? That I have absolutely no idea where I heard about this book, because I just took a screenshot of me Googling the name of the book so that I wouldn't forget it. Anyway, it sounds very interesting. Then there's Claudine at School by Colette, which is the first of Colette's Claudine series. This is from 1900. This novel follows the witty and rebellious Claudine through her coming of age at a rural French school, showcasing her sharp observations and resistance to convention. I'm not sure why exactly this story spoke to me when I heard of it, but I heard of it from Gunpowder Fiction and Plot. He had a wonderful video that was 24 classics for 2024, and they were some of the most unique books I've ever heard. Like, I've never heard of these books before, these classics before, and so I was really appreciative for that video. The next is also a recommendation from that video, and it's Cruel City by Mango Betty. This is a 1954 novel. It follows Banda, a young man who travels to the city with hopes of prosperity, only to confront the harsh realities of colonial society and urban life. Through Banda's journey, the story critiques colonialism and explores the struggles of adapting to a rapidly changing African society. That is the set of books that I have for today. That's the whole page. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider sharing it with a friend who you think would also enjoy it. Consider liking and subscribing, and I will be back again soon. Let me know, what is the most recent book that you have heard in a recommendation, that you've jotted down, that you've checked out from the library because you heard just the most intriguing description.